first/committee launch for PFF. PFF stands for Piton Film Festival. It is the brainchild of two co-founders. I am one of the co-founders, Ed Herman, and Ms. Emily Stewart from New York. The reason for this gathering, but we need to make sure the people of St. Lucia understand what this is about. And Dr. Kathleen Walls from New York and Dr. Walls and Friends is with us. And what we wanted to do, we wanted the press to get the information out to the community. We are going to say a little bit, and then we're going to open up the questions. We don't want to say something and miss something. So we want you to ask us questions. We're going to answer your questions about the whole PFF and what it's about, why it's here in St. Lucia, and why not. Okay? So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Emily Stewart, who's the co-founder and the founder of October Film Festival in New York.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I know there's a million places you guys could be today, so we appreciate you being here. I am Emily Stewart. I'm the owner of a film and TV company in New York called Stewart Films. And last year we started a film festival called October Film Festival. And Ed had me on his Sisters in Harmony radio show last year, and we were talking about October Film Festival. And he said, you know, I'd love for this to come to St. Lucia because I know that there are a lot of filmmakers there who could really use exposure. So immediately I thought, because I have a heart for the filmmaking community, I know how difficult it is to get your work out. So I said, okay, well, I'll come to St. Lucia, and what we'll do is we will have a film festival, and the winners of that film festival will be featured in New York City in our New York Film Festival. So we're planning an entire night or day dedicated to the film winners from St. Lucia in New York. And they will have their film screened on a big screen in New York City. In one of our bigger theaters. They will have performances, there'll be workshop, and there'll be lots of networking that will happen. So it'll give the filmmakers here an opportunity to expand their reach. The other thing that we want to do is teach filmmakers how to monetize their work. Because if I hear another person say that filmmaking is a hobby, I'm going to rip my hair out. Because it's really, to me, a tragedy that you have a talent to make film or to be an actor, and that somebody says to you, you will never be able to make a living doing that. To me, that's terrible. I think that people should be able to earn a living and do what they love. So we're going to try to facilitate that by teaching filmmakers how to monetize that. And that, with the web, all of the resources we have available, we're going to make those resources available. I had, for example, a web show. I'm one of the first producers to take a show from online, from the internet, to cable television. I made more money when the show was online than I made when it was on cable. Because every time somebody watched the show, I got paid. So when you have 2 million people watching your show because you grew that audience, we were probably yielding about $8,000 a month from that show that was online. So we're not talking about in the theater. We're not talking I was running around the world with the film. We were talking about online. So how do we teach our filmmakers how to monetize their shows? And the actors, you know, there's a lot of coaching that can happen via Skype. There are a lot of opportunities. So really, for me, it's about how do we get people to be able to do what they love. And that's why we're here. So we are looking for support because ultimately you need an audience. Whether you're doing it online or whether you're doing it in theaters, people still have to come out. So we're talking about how do we create incentives for people to come to the theaters to watch films created by people here. These are your own people. These are very talented filmmakers who are here and nobody knows about them. And why is that? So we need your help to get the word out. We're going to do our part to provide the best venues, the best marketing, but we are still going to need people to come to the theater and watch. We're going to need the filmmakers to submit their films. And what I found very interesting, submissions are already open, so filmmakers can submit online. They can come and see me up until Sunday. I'm here to take submissions. But what I found really interesting was that as soon as we opened submissions, we received submissions from other places, like Australia, like Canada. Those people want their films to be shown here at the Piton Film Festival because they feel that there's an audience here in the Caribbean that they want to tap into. Now, if you have people from Canada, from Indonesia, Thailand, who want to come here to show their films, it's great for tourism, but why are the people here not wanting to show their films? So we're trying to do everything that we can. We're trying to keep it cost effective. We're trying to make it easy. We're going to build in incentives for the audience. If you come to watch the show, we'll raffle off money. We'll raffle off something. We need people to come out to support the filmmakers. Because we can create a platform, but you still have to have an audience.
And the numbers that she's given are all in U.S. We're talking about U.S. dollars, not DC dollars. So I just want to make sure because she's based in the U.S.
Yeah.
What we want you to realize, we definitely want the press to take out to the people. This is about not only what happens in front of the camera, what happens behind the camera. See, there's more money behind the camera. There's more economic built behind the camera. For every person that comes here, they have to stay at a hotel. That's the hotel industry. They have to eat. That's a restaurant. They have to move on. That's travel. All the sightseeing things. So even though you're not in the film business, you're in the living business in St. Lucia. They will come and they have to use the facilities of St. Lucia. Now, as we all know, St. Lucia is going through some tough times. So we are actually bringing another international event here. We have the Jazz and Arts. Now we're looking to bring film here. Film is $1 billion business, $1 billion business. How much of that comes to St. Lucia? We have the infrastructure here in St. Lucia, and I say we because I'm a born Lucian, to those who don't know. We have the infrastructure here in St. Lucia to put something on the table that will be very inviting, and we Ms. Stewart's connections in the U.S. to show the filmmakers in the U.S. and overseas why it's very attractive to come to St. Lucia and get your films made. Half the cost, help the economy build. So we're not looking only at just the films in front of the camera. I want you to understand, we're looking behind the camera. I'm more behind the camera person. She's behind and in front. What can we do to help the Lucians go to the next level in filmmaking? Think about it. How many films are made in St. Lucia?
But you know, part of that is the perception. It would be great if people understood that there is infrastructure here to handle filmmaking, and that also you have the talent. You have the makeup artist who could do the makeup. So you don't have to fly in, right? I had my makeup done by a local makeup person today. And we have a local camera guy in the back there who's going to be following us around. Lennox, thank you. Shout out to you. So if they understand that you do have great camera DP people, that you do have people who can build sets, that you do have people who can do all of these things, because it's expensive to shoot in another country, right? You have to travel with all of your people, the majority, plus your actors, and then you're paying them, and you have to find a place for them to stay. What about if you don't have to bring all those people because you can hire locals to make those films? And also, if there's more filmmaking here, there's just more income, more money coming in, going out.
More jobs being created.
Yeah, more jobs being created.
The last, I know you'll watch the last X-Men movie. The last X-Men movie, at the very end, after all the credits, I'm one of the people who actually sit in the movie and watch the credits.
We love people like you. Usually people leave.
At the very end of all the credits, it said this movie created 15,000 jobs doing the making of this movie. 15,000 jobs made by one movie. But at 3-4 months, that movie was being shot. So imagine having a movie in St. Lucia that creates like 2,000-3,000 jobs at a clip.
And there's so many aspects in movies that a lot of times people aren't paying attention. As Emlyn mentioned, you have hair, you have makeup, you also have this one. You also have artwork that's in movies. You have furniture. So you have so many different ways in which people can be a part of the film industry that a lot of times people aren't thinking about because they're only thinking about being a director, being an actor, being an actress. That this opens up a way for people to use their various gifts and talents.
Yes. Another aspect of that is your writers. I've talked to a couple of writers here on the island. I mean, there are writers who can write really great stuff. And not just writing films, you could do short films. Now you could do web series, so you can do 10 minutes. And one of the ways I was talking to people about, you know, because filmmakers are very direct because they're struggling and they want to make their dreams. So they're like, okay, so I have this web series, how am I going to monetize that? I said, well, you're making the show anyway, so if you make 3 episodes and you put it online and you give the 3 episodes for free for people to watch, you get them hooked, you get them engaged, and now you're blogging, you're talking, you're on Facebook, you're promoting it. By the time they get to that 4th episode, they will pay $1.99 to see what happens. They will want to know what is happening with that actor. Did she die? Is she in love? Is he leaving her? Right? So if you're doing the content anyway, and then you're giving it away for free to your TV networks that are not paying you anything. They're charging you. So after you spend all this money and you struggle to make this movie, you then go to the network, and you're so happy that they're going to show it to the world that you give it to them for free. Now they get advertisers to advertise based on your show and your film. And they pocket all that money and they say thank you to you. And off you go and you start at 0 again. So how do you build? How do you build if you really have no way of making money or ownership? Because a lot of times when you hand that footage over, you're also handing over the exclusive right to do something else. As well, post about the important thing that you're doing and what you're building and engage an audience. Your friends will come. I said to one of the filmmakers the other night, if you get into our festival, it is not our job to fill the theater with people to watch your film. It is your job to take the people in your community who support you, who love you, to come out and say, wow, look at what my nephew did, look at what my brother did, and to tell their friends. It is not our job. We can give you the platform. We can teach you how to do it. But the work still has to come from the filmmaker. And I'm shocked how you spend years saving your pennies to make these films, and then you have nobody come see it. I am shocked when I see filmmakers posting about everything except their project, and then they're trying to get me to produce it. So you want me to spend money on a project that you're not talking to anyone about. Why? Who's going to do that? Who's going to invest? You have to first make the investment. And I think there's this thing about, well, nobody cares because it's a hobby. So nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about it. And, somebody said to me the other day, she's sitting right here, she said, if 2 people look at it and say it's great, then you're kind of finished. Wow, that was wonderful. That's not enough. If this is your dream, we want to help you. And I think part of it is the resources, part of it is access, part of it is education. So we're going to help change that. And we're in New York, where there are tons of independent projects being created, tons of opportunities. We can create something similar here because the internet and distribution deals have opened the gates wide. So why not take advantage of that? And so that's sort of our main purpose. Ed has a much bigger view of the festival because he was born here and he understands the culture and he understands what's needed in other areas of the economy. I am strictly focused on how do we get these people with a dream to monetize it, to be able to keep doing it in excellence. That's my focus. And I think the 2 of us together, he reminds me to focus on other things and I remind him to focus on our filmmakers. And I think that's really the combination. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting was we've been having meetings with the tourist board, with television networks, and we've been endorsed by many, which is amazing. But I am shocked to hear the people whose first reaction is, if you're not going to make money, nobody cares about that. Why are you all the way over here? Nobody cares about that. And thankfully, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth, I don't need your permission because I don't need your money. And if we're in a position where we don't need their money, then we don't need their permission. It's because we need their money that then we need their permission, which then allows them to tell us that we can't do it.